There is only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight. It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain.
The irony of Donald Trump's Alligator Alcatraz concentration camp is that oftentimes the cruelest inventions of tyrants and evil men have a funny way of eventually being used against them.
They are. Here's a family thinking that it's fun to kill people. There's their faces.
You built this, MAGA, and some of you will enjoy the view from inside the wire.
I couldn't think of two better clips to start this disturbing breaking story off with, and there is so much to cover here, so let's dive right in. The human rights violation hellhole of a concentration camp that is Donald Trump's Alligator Alcatraz in the Florida Everglades is being exposed by those inside the camp. We had our first hospitalization of an inmate today after horrifying reports that we'll get into of prisoners being fed their one meal per day with the food infested with maggots, as well as so many other things that most people would find truly despicable, except of course for the other maggot infestation that popped up in the camp. Take a look at this first clip from on the ground and we'll dive deeper afterwards.
Figure out who they are, what they do for a living. Oh look, he's gonna go get a friend. He's so intimidated. There he is, put him out there, figure out who he is. Oh yeah, put your kid at risk. There he is, guys. Get his face out there. All my followers, there's his family. Figure out where they work, where they live. They love killing people and children.
Yeah, frankly, that should be the Republican Party slogan. I personally haven't done too much digging on their identities, but I'll let you guys know if there are any updates throughout this story. It's absolutely horrific, but I can't say that I'm even surprised that MAGA would take pride and joy in such a sick and dystopian violation of basic human rights. And not that it excuses it, but you let me know in the comments if you think this family had any idea what is actually happening there. Here's a rundown of some damning details that the world needs to see and hear about, that clearly, during his visit, Donald Trump didn't care to consider or even try hiding, even though we could all see the writing on the wall the second it started flooding.
The snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this.
And Trump and the officials are panicking right now because they are trying to bury this. While the state says that the stories that we'll get into that detainees are sharing with the Miami Herald are false, various scenarios described by 3 women in separate interviews are matching up. The women told the Herald that their husbands were unable to shower for several days after arriving. 2 women said their husbands complained that initially there was no water to flush toilets. All 3 detainees told their wives that their bugs were getting inside, one of them saying that grasshoppers the size of his hand were springing onto the tent and that the biggest mosquitoes he had ever seen were flying over them in their cells. One Cuban reggaeton artist, Liemzi La Figura, who's been detained there since Friday, said there's over 400 people here. There's no water to take a bath. It's been 4 days since I've taken a bath. He claimed the food at the migration facility is scarce and unsanitary. Quote, they only brought 1 meal a day and it had maggots. They never turn off the lights for 24 hours and the mosquitoes are as big as elephants. Other detainees echoed his concerns, alleging violations of their basic rights. They're not respecting our human rights, one man said during the same call. We're human beings, we're not dogs. We're like rats in an experiment. I don't know their motive for doing this, if it's a form of torture. A lot of us have our residency documents and we don't understand why we're here. A third detainee, who said he is Colombian, described deteriorating mental health and lack of access to necessary medical care. I'm on the edge of losing my mind. I've gone 3 days without taking my medicine. It's impossible to sleep with white light that's on all day. He also claimed that his Bible was confiscated. They took the Bible I had and they said, here, there is no right to religion. And my Bible is the one thing that keeps my faith, and now I'm losing my faith. And as if like clockwork, today we got our first report through Aaron Parnas about the first hospitalization of an inmate there.
I have some really terrible news this morning. We have confirmation right now that there has been the first hospitalization at the Alligator Alcatraz detention facility in the middle of the Everglades. According to the Miami Herald, at least 1 migrant has been hospitalized due to the conditions in the facility. Yesterday, we talked about how inhumane the conditions were, including broken toilets, mosquitoes, large mosquitoes, extreme temperatures. I mean, remember, you're in the middle of the Everglades. And if you haven't been to the Everglades, I've been there many times. I'm from South Florida. It's the swamp. There's nothing going in or out of this swamp. It is just marshland for miles. There are alligators, snakes, giant mosquitoes, other bugs. I mean, this is not an area you want to be in. And right now, according to the Miami Herald, this facility just doesn't have proper ventilation, doesn't have proper plumbing, lacks hygiene supplies. There is medical neglect. A medical emergency prompted an ambulance to transport a detainee to HCA Florida Kendall Hospital. It is really bad. We are facing a crisis in the United States of America around an immigration policy, and not enough people are talking about it.
But we are talking about it and showing it to you firsthand, and we will not shut up about it. So if you appreciate that kind of on-the-ground, independent, real-time reporting like this, then by all means, drop a like on the video, subscribe, and support us here at Really American, because this work is so important right now. And where I want to end this today is with this video from the Lincoln Project for a bit of catharsis to bring it all back to the beginning. They posted this incredible ad entitled, "One day, Alligator Alcatraz will be filled with those who built it."
Alligator Alcatraz, an impregnable prison camp surrounded by miles of the most deadly parts of Florida. Poisonous snakes, fierce and hungry alligators, miles of unmapped swamps, storms, hurricanes, fierce heat. No one's getting out of Alligator Alcatraz. The people in Alligator Alcatraz are subhumans, the worst of the worst. Alligator Alcatraz is going to teach these criminals a lesson. If you're upset by Alligator Alcatraz, just wait. Because when the Trump era ends, we're keeping it open for the corrupt crypto scammers like Don Jr., who cashed in on the presidency. Keeping it open for folks like Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and Tom Homan, who ignore the law, ignore court orders, and deploy masked cops in warrantless raids. We're even keeping it open for the state and federal agents who abuse their power. You built this, MAGA, and some of you will enjoy the view from inside the wire.
On a scheduling note, tomorrow, President Trump will travel to the great state of Florida to attend the opening of a new illegal alien detention center located at Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport alongside Secretary Kristi Noem, Governor Ron DeSantis, Congressman Byron Donalds, and other state and local leaders. We hope to see many of you there. The facility is in the heart of the Everglades and will be informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. There is only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight. It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The facility will have up to 5,000 beds to house, process, and deport criminal illegal aliens. This is an efficient and low-cost way to help carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history.